Confession time. Is Pitney losing his identity as a nerdy fanboy? Is Amelia harboring a secret desire to build stuff? How close did Amelia come to attacking the arrogant unvaccinated? And did you know that if you're one of the lucky awesome listeners who catch us on day 1, first of all, thank you. And secondly, tomorrow night, July 31st, we're doing a live stream on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. It's Throwback Thursday on Saturday, number 3. And you really should try to drop in and say hi. You can catch the recording later, but live is so much more daring, don't you know?
Welcome to Pitney and Amelia's Bitchin' Boutique!
We may be awful, but
we're right!
I was talking the other day to Trisha von Liechtenstein.
Okay.
And...
Dear Trisha, how
is she? And, and I feel oh my God, I feel so bad because she sent me these discs of the new Picard episode, or the new Picard series, right?
Oh my God, I still haven't watched even a minute of it.
I haven't watched it either. And
I know I want to, and I'm sure I'll like it.
Yeah, and she has been hounding me.
Oh my God.
What do you think of it? What do you think of it? What do you think of it? And, back in the day, I would have watched it the minute I got it, and I wouldn't
Oh my
have,
God, we would have jumped on that shit.
Yeah. And I didn't have the heart to tell her that I didn't watch it yet.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Did you see that Q was in the next episode, or was in the next series, blah, 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 and I'm like...
Oh my God.
No, I didn't see that, but I kind of don't care.
I know. Like, of course he is. They're kind of dusting off everyone. I mean, every time I see it, it's like, they're bringing that character too. Oh, they're doing that character too.
Yeah, because I was just like, I really just kind of don't care. And, and then I got to think about it, and I was like, in the last, since the pandemic, being stuck at home so goddamn much, even me can only play video games for so much, right?
Oh, well,
and then
sure.
you can go out for so much, so it's natural to go to want to watch video, right? So I've tried to rewatch Star Trek: The Next Generation, which I used to love more than life.
Oh God, I haven't wanted to rewatch anything. I've been trying to watch things, and I don't apparently want to watch anything at all.
Xena, I love more than life. Hercules, which I love more than life.
Yeah.
Tried to watch all of it. I cannot get engaged. I don't give a flying fuck.
I think our ability to engage has changed because we're trapped.
I can't watch it. And then there's other things, even new things, like newish, like sci-fi fantasy things that I've tried to watch that people have told me about. No, don't give a shit. Can't watch it.
I can't even get you to get Disney Plus so you can watch all the new Marvel shit.
No. And it's really, really weird to me, and it's frightening to me as my identity as a human being.
Yes!
That I do not give a fuck about science fiction or fantasy media anymore. I don't care. I'm not interested. It bores the fuck out of me. I don't care. And that's so fucking weird to me. I was like, oh my God, what is Amelia going to think when I tell her this? She's going to think that that I betrayed my God and became Christian or something.
But you
what
would
do you
still
think of
watch.
that?
You would, I mean, if Attack of the Clones was on, you would watch it.
I don't think I would. I think it would bore the fuck out of me after 5 minutes.
I mean, it would bore the fuck out of me after 5 minutes,
I would
but that's because I hate it.
I would watch it as long as it took for me to
reach orgasm.
To
exactly.
reach orgasm looking at Anakin.
Oh my god. Yeah, exactly. Like it only needs to be on that long.
Because God, he was so hot with his little rat tail.
I guess I don't know.
But he's not hot in the third movie because he has that goddamn long hair. Even though it's a mullet.
Because they're doing. See, again, you don't have the Disney Plus, so you don't have access to all the new Star Wars shit either, like Mandalorian, and so you don't have access to the eventual Obi-Wan Kenobi series, which is going to have Anakin in it.
Oh, and it's going to be him. I think I read that.
Yes, it is. You might be willing to see old crusty Hayden Christensen?
I was going to say, but I hope they do digital construction to make him young.
Why would he need to be young? He's older, isn't he?
I know, but I don't want to see him older than the second movie.
I mean, well, actually, no, I guess he would have to be young because we already saw him be Darth Vader. So we wouldn't see him be Darth Vader unless he was Darth Vader and who sometimes took his helmet off. I'm not really sure.
I don't know, but there's something about, just thinking about that rat tail makes me aroused.
It's really weird considering that when you met me, I had one. That's really weird.
But anyway, it was just really, really weird, like talking to Trisha.
Mm-hmm.
And talking, my friend Sarah that I see all the time. And she's like, watch this British comedy. Oh, let's watch this episode of Red Dwarf. Things that I would be like, just delighted by. I don't give a fuck. I have no interest at all. And it's really weird to me. It's surprising to me. And I'm like, wow, what has happened? I mean, it's not like an anger or a hate or anything. It just bores me. And I was like, oh my God, does Amelia know who I am anymore?
Well, let me ask you this. Have they been replaced by something? Or are you just not particularly interested in watching anything?
I'm really not interested in watching anything.
Well, there's your answer.
I just have no interest in watching things anymore.
Well, but that's also because, I mean, okay, like, I realized, like years ago, I mean, you and I have both, like, in the past, and I guess you still sort of, to some extent, into, like, things like Law and Order SVU, and, like, I used to record all the Law and Orders, all these shows every week, and I can't even count the amount of hours of TV that I had to watch every single week just to keep up with all my shit.
Oh, I remember, I know.
And that was back when I was taking hours of dance classes every week, and I had a social life and a full-time job, and somehow I managed to sleep a decent amount, and I still had an online life, and I don't know how there were enough hours in the day for me to watch so goddamn much television. Plus, occasionally watching movies and things like that. So I don't know. I mean, and that was back when we didn't have Showtime, but like my husband and I would wait till the season was over when we could buy an entire season of Dexter, and we would like plan a weekend around watching an entire season of Dexter, watching like 24 episodes of Dexter, and I could watch so goddamn much television back then.
Yeah.
Now, and over the years, eventually, like, a show would go off the air and I wouldn't replace it with something, and all these other shows would come on and people would say, oh, this show's really great. It's like, I'm sure it is. But if I'm not immediately compelled to watch it, I don't feel any pressure.
Oh,
it's
girl,
like,
me neither. Oh my God,
I'm perfectly happy to not watch a new show. Now, that's not to say that at first I didn't think I was intrigued by Mandalorian, but it was a little while before I was like, I think I'm gonna watch Mandalorian. And as soon as I watched it, I was like, I have to watch all the Mandalorian. And once I did that, I was totally into it. I watched the first
season, and I was really into it.
So do you have Disney Plus then?
I know, I downloaded it illegally, of course.
Oh, of course you did. Okay, never mind.
But yeah, no, I watched the first season, and I really, really liked it.
It's so great.
And then I was just like, yeah, I just don't give a shit. I'm never going to watch it again because I just don't care.
Oh, I
sort of like Doctor Who. I just don't give a fuck. I haven't watched it since David Tennant, and I never will. Yeah, I know I've missed out on a lot of things that I like.
Right.
And it's not that I wouldn't like it, it's just I don't care.
But like right now, things like the Marvel series, like WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, fucking Loki, don't even get me fucking started. It's like they said, what can we do? How can we make a TV series that will make Amelia just sit up straight and go, oh, yes, please. Oh, are you making this for me personally? Can we make a show all about Loki, but can we put him in like a tie, like he works in an office, and like slacks and a tie and like a button-down shirt? Can we do, and like a windbreaker? Can we do that?
Oh, is that what they're doing?
I can't even explain. I will say the first episode, he's in like a jumpsuit because he's basically like a prisoner, and he's wearing what should be. I could go on for an hour about the jumpsuit that they put on Loki and how just the celebration of tailoring that is that jumpsuit, because they managed to make something that is clearly supposed to be an ill-fitting prison jumpsuit, and yet they cut it and tailored it exactly so that it looks like it doesn't fit, and yet as he moves and walks, it fits. It fucking fits.
That's deliberate, right?
It hugs in all the places just enough that as he moves, it's like, oh, can I watch him walk down the hall again? It's like, oh my God.
I know, the funny thing is I don't care, no matter how much you say, no matter how much you tell me, you don't have anybody, I'll never fucking watch it, ever.
And that's fine, but you'll miss out on gloriousness.
But I know, but isn't that weird? Because that is not who I used to be.
If they made a Star-Lord series...
No, I wouldn't watch it. Mm-mm.
Really?
No, I really wouldn't.
If there was jerk-off possibility
I would not watch it.
That's just crazy.
I know, isn't that weird? I'm just like, oh my God, what happened?
I could watch the Loki show on slow-mo. I could...
But it's weird because I still identify as, like, a fan.
Yeah.
But I do not give a flying fuck about any TV series. None.
But I mean, you still care about...
And is that weird to you?
But, okay, let me ask you this. Do you think it's weird that I never went back and rewatched all the Xenas? I watched them when they were on, and then I did not go back and rewatch them.
You were fanatical as I was. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I never just sat back and rewatched. Do you think I went back and watched all the Star Trek Next Generations again? I still have never seen a single episode of Deep Space Nine.
Because I've always been a rewatcher.
Well, I am too about some things.
Yeah, but it was very challenging to my identity as a fan.
Maybe watching them 50 times was enough.
To try to rewatch stuff and be like, oh my God, I don't care.
Maybe it's because you have them all fucking memorized.
Yeah, and I don't
Maybe you've already watched them the maximum amount of times. I mean...
I don't know.
There are movies that you and I have seen 100 times. We don't have to watch them. We can just sit here and run through them in our head. We don't have to watch them.
Oh, yeah,
we know them already.
I would rather be dead than ever watch Labyrinth again.
Oh, my God.
I would rather be dead than ever watch Rocky Horror again.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how much I love it. It doesn't matter how much
it doesn't
I'll
matter
look,
how much.
you know?
Oh God, no, I'd rather be dead.
It doesn't matter how much. Every time I see a behind-the-scenes photo from Rocky Horror, especially if I haven't seen it before, it's the most thrilling thing in the world to me.
I'll totally get excited. But yeah,
because it's like, oh my God, it's a moment in time with Tim Curry in it, and I've never laid eyes on it before, and it's the most exciting thing in the world.
I don't have to watch the soundtrack movie. Ever again.
Oh God!
If I never hear the Time Warp again, I would never miss it.
Oh God! I mean, I think we both are at the time where like if we're at a dance at a con or something, and they play the fucking Time Warp, it's like, oh God damn!
Oh, we run from the dance floor and go to the bar.
Oh. It's like, oh, we'll just let the kids dance. That's fine.
Oh my goodness.
But no, I'm not. I mean, it doesn't. It surprises me a little bit because I know what a big watcher you are. But I also know that I have found that I didn't watch nearly as much during this past, year and a half or however long it's been now. I don't even know what day it is right now. That everyone else is like, oh, everyone watched Tiger King and everyone watched this and this and this and all these other series. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't watch any of them.
Oh, never watched Tiger King. Never will.
Although, I will say this, although this is not what I was going to talk about, but just because it's a fandom thing, someone mentioned something on Facebook the other day and it actually made me laugh because neither of us watched Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
Here's something interesting that's fascinating from a fandom standpoint. Game of Thrones ended and it vanished from the earth. People were fucking obsessed and wouldn't fucking shut up about Game of Thrones.
I know.
And about 2 weeks after the last episode aired, not a word was ever said about that goddamn series ever again.
Oh, I didn't even know it ended.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Trisha didn't tell me all about it because she used to be obsessed with that.
And I wonder if part of it is because that asshole's never going to finish that series of books. The series, the TV series ended, people were pissed off about it for like a minute, and then no one ever said a word again. And it's like HBO didn't rerun the series just to fill up time during the pandemic. Like, nothing.
Interesting.
It's like Game of Thrones never happened.
Hi, this is Two Girls on a Bench,
the podcast. So we're two writers who tend to procrastinate just a bit.
We like to snack. We like to talk.
We don't have time to write, but we have time to do this podcast.
We certainly do. Join us on the bench.
Listen in.
At number 2 Girls on a Bench.
I was thinking about like how during the pandemic I didn't watch a lot of Netflix. I didn't watch a lot of TV, but I found that we spent a lot of time, and it's almost embarrassing. I'm glad that like the Xbox doesn't say, but you know how like when you're playing a video game, it'll be like you've been playing Skyrim for 2,000 hours.
Yeah.
I'm glad that the Xbox doesn't say you've been watching YouTube for 2,000 years. Because
although I can see when your husband is on YouTube, because I'll know.
You can tell it's YouTube?
Because it'll say this person is on YouTube or Netflix or playing Mass Effect or playing Diablo 3 or whatever the fuck.
Oh, it'll actually say Sweetums. It'll actually say Sweetums is playing Diablo.
Yes, it'll say what you're doing, but there's no time. Yeah.
Oh, see, because when the penguin comes online, it just says you're online. It doesn't.
Oh yeah,
I
but
don't
if
think
you
I've
click
noticed.
on my profile, it'll tell you what I'm doing.
Oh, okay. It just, yeah, I
You
just
know,
see
it'll
you
say
pop
I'm on
up.
Netflix
Okay.
or Hulu or playing, Skyrim
Yeah.
or Dragon, whatever the fuck,
Although lately, it horrifies me. I mean, I don't want to be like weird, but if I could have $1 for every time I go downstairs, whether it's when I wake up on a weekend morning, or hell, even sometimes on a weekday morning and he's down there before me, or it's after work and he goes downstairs first and then I go downstairs and the TV is on and it's like, really, you're watching Whose Line Is It Anyway again? Could we, have we not seen every episode of Whose Line Is It Anyway
Well, it could be
a
worse. It
hundred
could
times?
be My Little Pony.
Yeah, I suppose.
It could be
But
My
it is.
Little Pony and a gallon of Vaseline, so it could be worse.
Yeah, I've never had to worry about walking in on things like that. That's true. But I'll say this though, like YouTube channels. I mean, I've definitely gotten way more into having YouTube on. I think part of that is listening to podcasts while I'm in the office and having earbuds in, whereas when I'm at home, I don't have the earbuds in. So I can have a podcast just playing open, or I could have a YouTube video on. So like having YouTube on is a lot more common now, like when I'm working, when I'm not working. And one of the channels that I find that we watch all the time is Adam Savage from Mythbusters.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Has a channel called Adam Savage Tested, and he's kind of gone through a bunch of different incarnations. I think part of it is once it became like pandemic stuff, he does a lot of just sort of him by himself, being a crew of one, and so the kind of stuff he does is a little different because he doesn't have people helping him. But he'll do a lot of things like he does, like these things called one day builds, where he'll come up with a project and you just sort of get to watch it start to finish. And sometimes it's costuming, which is very, very cool.
Oh, yeah.
Like the other day, like one day he built a Totoro costume.
Oh, I saw that episode.
That's so fucking good.
Yes,
it's so fucking good.
I've seen that. That's fucking
the other day,
awesome. Yes.
he's working on a McCready from The Thing, Kurt Russell's character in The Thing.
Okay.
He's working on that costume, and he bought. And I immediately, of course, as soon as he mentioned where he bought it, I immediately Googled it, and I'm like, oh my god, that hat is beautiful. There's a company that is a hat maker, and they make that fucking hat, that big fucking wide-brimmed hat.
Oh.
And he bought that hat, but of course, it's a little too perfect, and it's not exactly like... It's like the creases are a little... It doesn't look like it's been worn. It doesn't look like it's been in the snow. So he steamed it and flattened it out and rebent the creases, and he made a new hat band. And I'm just sitting there I mean, if I was a dude, I'd be whacking it, because it's just so total nerd lady boner shit when I watch that kind of stuff. But one of the things I'm really realizing watching his videos is just, part of it is because he's in his shop. He has his own workshop that with his jigsaw and his bandsaw and his belt sander and his his vacuform machine. An actual vacuform machine. He has everything, and just looking at the bins and how they're all labeled and how he has all of his little tiny things of paint and all of his model kits and stray pieces, and I just salivate looking at that shit.
Yeah.
And it got me thinking about how I really would, if I had a shop like that, if I had access to, just if he was my neighbor and I could just go in there and just make some shit, I would be in there all the time.
Then that's what you want to do.
and it all started really, and now granted, when I was a kid, I made things out of clay, and I was, I was always like making little tiny little shit out of Play-Doh and whatever. But it was like 7th grade, I took wood shop. I took a semester. I didn't take the full home ec thing, like where you take a semester of sewing and then a semester of cooking. I took the semester of sewing, and I would have failed it because I didn't complete much because I was just so overwhelmed by it. But the teacher decided to grade me on a pass-fail and called it pass because she felt sorry for me.
Uh-huh.
Also because I didn't have a strong enough personality to, like, look, because you had to, like, share sewing machines with other students. And, like, if I couldn't be like, dude, I gotta use the machine. If I just, like, let everyone use the machine...
But you would have gotten an A if you used Ilsa pins.
Oh, God, I wouldn't have even known.
Ilsa
I did
pins.
somehow manage to make a little... Anyway, it's stupid. But that's not... But the sewing wasn't the point. I didn't... For some reason, back then, I had no interest in learning how to cook. Probably because I had a mother who didn't like cooking.
Yeah.
But so my other semester, in 7th grade, I took wood shop. And I was, like, one of the only girls who took it. And... I swear to God, I don't know what made me want to take it, but just being in that room with the tools and the smell of sawdust and varnish and the actual, like, taking a piece of wood and shaping it and filing it and sanding it and making it smooth and making it shiny and staining it until it's just the right color, and it's crazy. And it's like, I have almost nothing but good memories from that class. And there were some jerks in that class who were the kind of people who were in other classes with me, and they were very nearly my bullies in junior high. Except somehow, I think there's a possibility, this one guy, that asshole. Just this piece of shit. He's one of those people. It's like, I have the feeling he's like a white supremacist piece of shit now.
Oh, hopefully he's dead.
Oh, God, that would be great. I'm sure he's just like this, if he's alive, he's just like this big, hideous skinhead, piece of crap. But he was just enough of a jerk. But he seemed to, it's like, it's hard to explain, but like when a guy likes a girl just enough that he's mean to her, but in like a weird way, that it's like he's being mean to me, but it feels like he likes me. Which is more just uncomfortable than being bullied. But so I should have been fucking miserable because he was in that room and there were only like 10 students in that class. Yeah. So he could have made every day a living hell very easily for me. But I was so engrossed in what I was doing that I was just like, I fucking loved it. And I would have done it every semester of my life if I could have done it. And it's like, I look, every so often, like when I designed that wall, that weird fence wall thing, and that goes around the corner of my patio. Oh yeah, when I designed, remember, yeah. It's like I designed all this stuff in my backyard that basically I had to make my husband build, and it was all in my head, and he just had to believe me. It was, and it would be like 2/3 of the way built, and he would be like, oh, I think I understand what I'm making now. Right. Because he could not understand what we were doing, and I'm like, just listen to me. It's gonna be awesome. Just keep, and like, he bought the circular saw, and he bought, we have all these things, but it's like, but they're like hand tools, and it's like, no, I want big solid power tools where you move the wood, not you put the wood down and you move the tool. I want it the other way around. I want the big tool and you move the wood. Yeah. Because that's how I learned. I think part of me wants to do pottery too, because pottery kind of, it's in my head, it all kind of goes together in that kind of
I can totally see you doing that too.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
but the problem is it's fucking hot here. And if I was to, like, if I could ever get my garage cleaned up enough.
Oh,
that,
then
well,
you have to,
one,
like, fire and have a kiln. Oh my god.
yeah, like,
Yeah.
I would have to go in with a couple of friends and be like, okay, we're gonna, like, rent a space that has all the equipment in it, and then at any time when any of us want to go use it, we just go. And we
You
all
know
have
what?
the keys
We
to
have
it.
that here in San Jose. Angie and Sarah both do that right up the street from my house on First Street. Big studio. See, you and your husband need to move here to San Jose.
It's like it's their studio.
No, it's public. You
No,
rent space. Big,
I'm not talking
huge
about, like,
pottery
you go
studio.
paint a plate. I'm not talking about that shit.
No, this is like you go anytime you want. You pay a membership to go in anytime you want. You have shelves with all your clay, all your supplies, all your shit.
Oh, wow.
You put stuff to dry, you come back, you do it, you put it in the kiln, whatever.
There probably is a place.
Yeah.
Because I had a friend who took a glass blowing class, and I bet, and she spent years just, working on glass art projects.
Yeah,
I have a
it's
whole
just
bunch
like,
of her
no,
pieces.
you go whenever you want. See, that's just proof you need to move back to San Jose.
But I don't want to.
It wouldn't be hot anymore.
I wouldn't be able to afford a house in San Jose.
Just write a check, and then when it bounces, tell the bankers to fuck off. I guess that doesn't really work, does it?
The year of self-care. Yoga Nidra. It's an actual thing, but it's a thing that's sort of nothing. I'll explain. Yoga Nidra is a practice that promotes physical, mental, and emotional relaxation, and ideally, you're going to use it to fall asleep. It's a little like a meditation, but it's way simpler, and you can't screw it up because you are literally just laying there doing nothing. And look at that. I've given you something you can't tell me you won't be able to do. You can totally do nothing. When I first learned about Yoga Nidra, I was like, but my mom taught me to do this when I was a kid. I mean, it wasn't called anything, but it was something she had done since she was a kid, and she taught me because I was a really tightly strung kid who had trouble relaxing. You can't be surprised by that. She would slowly whisper to me, "Feet go to sleep. Feet go to sleep," while I concentrated on making my feet relax. And then she'd say, "Ankles go to sleep. Calves go to sleep," and so on, until she got to my head, and by that time, I was probably zonked out. So, Yoga Nidra is a practice of getting as comfortable and still as you can be, and slowly moving your focus from one body part to the next. And that really is all it is. There are a lot of guided Yoga Nidras out there, where some whispery person talks you through the process. And I recommend using one when you first try, because I don't want you to get confused by how utterly simple it is, and get a thought in your head like, am I doing this right? Because that'll take you right out of it. You really can't mess this up. And because I really want you to try it, I have recorded a Yoga Nidra meditation of my own and posted it as a download-only track that I listed in the show notes. Now, whatever you use to listen to podcasts, there are notes for every episode. If you're still not sure what I mean, go to our website, bitchandb.libsyn.com. I've listened to a lot of these things and hadn't found one yet that was exactly what I needed, so I started doing it myself in my own head. But honestly,
it works even faster if you aren't the one doing the thinking and you're just following the unbelievably simple directions. And even though it's me talking, I promise, no cussing. I know, right? So, here's a taste. Now move your attention to the middle finger. The first knuckle. The second. The tip. The same for the third finger. See? You can do that.
The Bitchin' Boutique.
Yes.
I think we need to give them a thing, Spike. We can give them a drop that they can play on their
Yes,
show.
I think we've got to find some time and get
I
time
think we
to
should
do
it
that.
right now. I think we should do it right now. Look, I'll show you how easy it is, Spike. Watch this. I'm just going to do it live.
Okay, do it live.
Like that bloke screams. I'm just going to do it live. Watch this. Hi, this is Dr. Dan from the Two Skeptical... I can't do it now. Look, I can't speak. Too much pressure. I'll try again. Take 52. Hi, this is Dr. Dan from the Two Skeptical Chaps podcast, and you are listening to the most bitchin' boutique. See? That was easy, wasn't it?
Okay.
They could send us one, we could play it as. There you go.
Yeah.
Right, you do it.
Yeah.
Right, off
What
you
do you
go.
want me to say?
Whatever comes to mind.
Hi, this is Spike from the Two Skeptical Chaps podcast, who ain't no bitch, but you're listening to the Bitchin' Boutique.
Oh, that was good. I hope they use that. Let's see if they cut it and put it in their next show.
Diplomatic community.
Oh my god, so like I don't want this to turn into like a whole COVID vaccination thing. But I have to tell you something that happened.
Okay, yeah, because we've done that.
We've done that so much, and you and I have that conversation all the time, and everyone knows, it's like, of course, anti-vaxxers suck. Just fucking get your goddamn shot. Shut up. Anyway, but something happened yesterday that made me so uncomfortable, and oh my god, I was so angry. But of course, you know, my sort of like lifetime of training of just stuffing everything down and not telling people to fuck off when I want to tell them to fuck off, because I have to be, you know, polite and don't make a scene. So, one of my coworkers retired a couple months ago, but because of, you know, obviously we haven't been in the office for, you know, since last March, and none of us have seen each other. We kind of locally, this was a coworker who's actually local, and the people who are in our local office are a very social group. Like, we would go out for lunch at least once a month, you know, to do like celebrate everybody's birthdays, and we'd have cake, and we do, you know. And so it was really weird to have a local guy retire and we didn't do anything. So once it's like we're at a point where obviously everyone's going to be vaccinated, everything, you know. So a lunch was organized, like a weekend lunch. And we had about 15 people come, and that was pretty awesome. And it was so great to see all these people again. And of course it was hysterical how almost every guy that I work with, if the ones who were beardy have become beardier, and even the ones who weren't beardy are now beardy. Like, it's like being at home, every guy is like, I'm gonna look like an old prospector. Like, everyone is turned into Santa Claus. Like, everyone has a big bushy gray beard now. Which is fabulous. But you know, and I'm like not feeling so bad about the fact that I haven't had a haircut since, you know, 2 Novembers ago, and so but I did color my hair. I did decide to go ahead and color my hair before people saw me. But I've talked before about Stinky, a guy in the office who clearly does not bathe much and obviously must live in filth and whatever. And I'll just say, and he can be very inappropriate and whatever, but in general he's a good guy. In general he's a smart guy. He's a sensible guy. He just, some people, he's also very much the Rennie type,
Yeah.
We know the type well. He always looks like he's, any minute now he could be off to a joust. He's just, he's definitely very much of the type. So, he was there and that was great, but he basically had 2 people with him, and those 2 people were not vaccinated. Now, one of those people had never even met the guy who had retired. Had never met any of us before.
So they were just like his posse.
Yeah, like she, I believe she was his baby mama. She was just like the girlfriend. And, I didn't ever need to meet her, but I really, really didn't need to meet her in an unvaccinated state. And I will say this. I ended up, just due to, when you have a whole bunch of people and it's like, a restaurant puts a whole bunch of people, like a big long banquet seating situation where they shove a bunch of tables together and you have actual chairs on one side and a big long banquet seating on the other. And so people are squishing together.
Yeah. So you're like 6
so
inches
I'm basically,
apart. Yeah.
The plan was, the friend that I drove there with, that we kind of carpooled together so we could have more time to talk. We both were like whispering to each other, like, when we realized those 2 just told us they're not vaccinated. And they, for some reason, are the kind of people who want to just act like that's totally cool and okay. And they didn't have to be here. I mean, that's the main thing. But we were both like, we need to sit at the other end of the table from them. Well, I ended up sitting right next to the baby mama. The unvaccinated baby mama. And I will say this. When people who are clearly Ren Fair folk, who don't bathe, who are really just the very, very unkempt, but very much that is just their personality, and we know the type well. But they're also the like aggressively unclean. And I'm gonna say this, like even he, because the conversation came up in the context of I'm not getting the vaccination. I'm not getting the vaccine because I don't like shots.
A boo fucking who?
Boo fucking who? You're a goddamn adult. Put on your big girl pants. So there was two excuses were made. One was I don't like shots, and in the case of the baby mama, it was I'm allergic to eggs. Now, I'm going to say this, I wanted to scream. And the guy, I will say this.
Maybe I'm ignorant, but how does that have to do with the vaccine? Is there some sort of component in the vaccine?
Not in this vaccine.
Be an issue?
Not in the COVID vaccine.
Oh, okay.
There are some vaccines that are made that have a protein in them that is an egg protein, because eggs are cells.
Okay.
And sometimes eggs, I guess, are used in development of some vaccines, I guess. And so egg protein will be in some vaccines. Not these.
Okay. See, I didn't know that, but okay.
Not these. So fuck you, lady. And it takes 10 seconds to Google that and find out that you're full of shit. And the guy who happened to be the one who had retired, now, just to give a sense of the kind of people that I work with, I do not work with dumbasses. The guy who retired has a PhD for the hell of it. The guy that retired, what part of his plan, now, not knowing that there was going to be a pandemic when he retired, but he had been talking for his plan was that he would probably see if he could get into med school when he retired just because he thought it would be interesting. This is a guy who learned to fly a helicopter because it sounded fun. This guy is fucking...
That's fabulous. He sounds great.
You would love him.
Yeah.
You would love this guy.
Yeah, he sounds great.
He is so much fun. He's so interesting to talk to. I'm surrounded at work. I'm surrounded by smarty pants, So it is really aggravating in a group of people where everybody is smart. Nobody is a dumbass. And I've got someone standing there going, well, I can't get it because I'm allergic to eggs. He literally said directly to her, well, okay, but there's no egg protein in this vaccine. I mean, he didn't even have to look it up. He fucking knew it.
Fabulous.
She said
and what did she say?
Because I bet she probably knew it, and she just wanted to use it as an excuse. But my favorite thing that happened was that as a group, the three of them, Stinky and crew, started talking about how, I can't even use hand sanitizer. Oh, I get chemical burns, and they're pulling up this. They're going, look, I can't even use hand sanitizer because it gives me chemical burns. And it's like, is that why you don't fucking bathe? Have you tried soap?
Please.
So you're going to come up with every bullshit excuse there is, including I can't use hand sanitizer because that is so Verity Noslin. That is so Verity fucking Noslin of them.
Oh my god, and it's so not fucking real. Yes. Totally Verity.
It's like,
yes.
it would have been annoying enough, but the fact that I had to sit next to this cunt. And I was turned away from her. I was like, I wanted to tell her to fuck off. But I have to work with her man.
Yeah.
And I don't want to,
Oh, God.
I don't, in my head, I'm screaming. And I had to go later that day. I had to go take care of my 90-year-old father. So I went home after that lunch and I immediately took a really, really hot shower, which probably didn't make a difference, but mentally I had to do it. I wanted to boil myself. Because weirdo Rennie chick with her, what the fuck are you wearing? Just,
Well, this bitch, she's probably going to be dead in a month by the Delta variant.
Oh my God.
Because she doesn't have her goddamn vaccine, and you know what? Good riddance.
Oh, it's so horrifying. And it's like, It makes me glad that there seems to be no plan that we're going back to the office, because I don't want to be around him knowing that he lives in a house with unvaccinated people. I'm assuming he got a vaccination, but now I don't even know for sure because he didn't say a thing. He didn't say, well, I am, but they're not. He didn't say anything. So I don't trust him now. Because he's got their fucking cooties all over him. And I don't, it's like, God, and like I said, I don't want this to turn into the whole thing, but it's like,
oh yeah, no.
If you're not gonna get the vaccine, fine. But what the fuck are you doing coming to the goddamn Cheesecake Factory on a Saturday afternoon? With a bunch of people you don't know. To celebrate the retirement of a guy you've never met.
Yeah.
Stay the fuck home, bitch.
Yeah, and you know what?
I was so mad.
Let her get sick and die. Screw her.
Oh my God. I wish, there are times when I wish I was less polite. I mean, I can be this way here, and there's a lot of people who they're just like, I find it so hard to believe that you're so quiet and meek. It's like, yeah, but you only know me from here.
Right.
You're not with me in a room full of people.
Yeah.
Where I have to be around those people. Like, I can say whatever the fuck I want here, and this is like therapy for me. You know?
Yeah.
And even though there may be like 1 or 2 people that I work with who's probably going to hear this, they know.
Yeah.
They know what I'm talking about. One of them was right there, and he knows what I mean.
And I will just say in closing of this, the whole non-bathing thing.
As you're a big fan of non-bathing.
You know, I have 2 slogans that I live by at Ren Fair and at music festivals. Mm-hmm. And those 2 slogans are ban bathing and death to deodorants.
I know. But I will point out, I do not go to those things with you.
No, you do not.
God damn it. If I go more than 2 days without bathing, I can't stand to be in my own company.
Although I will say yesterday, being out, you know, I went to a bluegrass festival
you were
yesterday.
At a festival.
Yeah, I went to a bluegrass festival yesterday in this little town. You can't even call it a town. It's just like a little blip called Tres Pinos. Although we don't say Pinos here, it's Tres Pinos.
Of course.
But anyway, this little blip. But it was this fabulous park. And anyway, 105 goddamn degrees.
Uh-huh.
Outside all day. And when I got home, and I wore, you know, like a sleeveless shirt because I knew it was going to be hot. Mm-hmm. And I had my little bandanas that I dipped in ice water and everything to keep me cool. But when I got home, it was so bad I could even smell myself.
And you're a smoker, and you don't smell anything.
Yeah,
so that's
I
strong.
was like, oh my God, yeah, I really need to go into the shower.
Oh my God. Ugh.
But I didn't. Because I was tired. And then I got on Skype. And then I went to bed. And
you didn't take a shower?
No. And so this morning, when I woke up, I was like, oh my God. So yeah, I did this morning.
But your sheets are disgusting. You're going to have to boil your sheets.
Oh, I literally took them off this morning and they're in the wash. Like, no joke. Yeah.
So gross. Oh my God. Oh, you're disgusting. Ugh.
I know, and I love it. Anyway. Thanks for listening. If you enjoy our show, please take a moment to rate us and review us on Apple Podcasts or Stitcher.
If you send us a screenshot of your review, we'll send you a Bitchin' Boutique sticker. Everyone loves stickers!
Please subscribe or add us to your favorites wherever you get your podcasts.
Subscribers get new episodes first and are also more attractive.
Drop us a line anytime at PitneyAndAmelia@gmail.com.
We'd love to hear from you. Yoga Nidra. It's an actual thing. But it's a thing that's... Really?